Yeah. All right. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Have we sound? Yes. Good.
Sound is fine.
Thank you, Had. Well, dear friends, I'm happy to be back with you this morning. I've had kind of a big adventure since I last saw you. I went with my daughter Tara to Iowa, where we rented a car and drove to Elkader, where there is a breeder who breeds very competent service dogs. And Tara came home with her medical service dog, who is right here, you'll see. There he is, and she is. Quite a journey. It was cold there, -10 Fahrenheit. And an amazing thing that we can get on planes. And we both wore N95 hospital masks and plastic shields. And actually we stayed in Wisconsin one night, and there are no restrictions in Wisconsin all of a sudden. And so everybody was maskless. Quite interesting. Restaurants all open. But we made it, and it was quite a fun time together. And beautiful little dog. Poor Budo, the little puppy, who's nameless still, slept on my pack a lot. And I brought my pack in, and my dog Budo went insane last night. Where is that? Where is that other dog? Where is that other dog? So, anyway, back here with a poem. I know I read this one just a few weeks ago, but it keeps calling out to me this morning, so it's powerful. Being alive is quite a journey, isn't it? Quite a strange thing. Being alive and being conscious. It's called Distant Regard by a person called Tony Hoagland. It is great to be with you. If I knew I would be dead by this time next year, I believe I would spend the months from now till then writing thank you notes to strangers and acquaintances, telling them, you really were a great travel agent. Or, I never got the taste of your kisses out of my mouth. Or, watching you walk across the room was part of my destination. It would be the equivalent, I think, of leaving a chocolate wrapped in shiny foil on the pillow of a guest in a hotel room. Hotel of Earth, where we resided for some years together, I start to say, before I realize it is a terrible cliché and stop, and then go on, forgiving myself in a mere split second, because now that I'm dying, I just go forward like water flowing around obstacles and second thoughts, not getting snagged, just continuing with my long list of thank yous, which seems to naturally expand to include sunlight and wind, and the aspen trees which gleam and shimmer in the yard as if grateful for being soaked last night by the irrigation system invented by an individual to whom I am quietly grateful. Outside it is autumn, the philosophical season, when cold air sharpens the intellect. The hills are red and copper in their shaggy majesty. The clouds blow overhead like governments and years. It took me a long time to understand the phrase distant regard, but I am grateful for it now. And I am grateful for my heart that turned out to be good after all, and grateful for my mind, to which, in retrospect, I can see I have never been sufficiently kind. If I knew I would be dead by this time next year, I believe I would spend the months from now till then writing thank you notes to strangers and acquaintances, telling them, "You really were a great travel agent," or "I never got the taste of your kisses out of my mouth," or "Watching you walk across the room was part of my destination." It would be the equivalent, I think, of leaving a chocolate wrapped in shiny foil on the pillow of a guest in a hotel. Hotel of earth where we resided for some years together, I start to say, before I realize it's a terrible cliche and stop and then go on, forgiving myself in a mere split second, because now that I'm dying, I just go forward like water, flowing around obstacles and second thoughts, not getting snagged, just continuing with my long list of thank yous, which seem to naturally expand to include sunlight and wind and the aspen trees which gleam and shimmer in the yard, as if grateful for being soaked last night by the irrigation system invented by an individual to whom I am now quietly grateful. Outside it is autumn, the philosophical season, when cold air sharpens the intellect. The hills are red and copper in their shaggy majesty. The clouds blow overhead like governments and years. It took me a long time to understand the phrase distant regard. But I am grateful for it now, and I am grateful for my heart that turned out to be good after all, and grateful for my mind, to which, in retrospect, I can see I have never been sufficiently kind. Kind to the mind. I think that's what we're up to, isn't it? To be kind. So let us remind ourselves of something so precious. In the midst of this more than utterly changing world, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya. Good morning, Jim. Thank you for taking over on Friday, and to Candle for taking over on Monday. Imagine a life of thank yous. In the last few days, I did one of those extraordinary things. I went to an airport and was greeted by many people. Check-in, security, and then tens of thousands of people cooperated to get those iron birds that I rode from here to Minneapolis, 2,100 miles, and then another flight to Cedar Rapids. And all the way there were people looking out for me, producing jet fuel, sitting in their control towers, supplying the restrooms. Everywhere we look, the grocery store, the central heating, the food supply, the lettuce that's washed so thoroughly you don't have to wash it again yourself. Thank you. Thank you is our only sensible response. To the people who in this lifetime played the role of parents, as flawed as they were. As it turns out that those of us who've had children, we were also rather flawed for them. Thank you. And so we begin practice with gratitude, the heart that beats away, the immune system that every day, that right now is constantly defeating cell mutations from our own bodies. Billions of bacteria and viruses that come our way all the time. And so we land in gratitude. And gratitude is the antidote for the poor me, ain't it awful, life's so hard. And it is hard. It's really much harder than the advertising would tell us. So let us land as instructed, as guided by the Buddha, right here. In this most mysterious awareness. The body touches the chair. And there is a strange, effortless knowing of that contact. There may well be aches and pains here and there in the body. I discover them to be my constant companion as I age. There's warmth and coolness. There is a breathing. And it doesn't take any imagination. For awareness to greet the breath, the sensations of breathing. In a way, it's the opposite of that. It's just this. Breathing in happens, and there are sensations. Breathing out happens, and there are sensations. There may well, or even probably are, thoughts. Let us become sufficiently kind to the mind. Let us bring great love Thoughts come and thoughts go. Moods come and linger for a while. And then they go too. With great kindness and compassion, let us embrace breathing in and breathing out. And the mind may be preoccupied. There could be a lot of desire, wanting something, looking forward to something, grasping after something in the future. Just as the sun comes up in the east, or the light swells and then fills the world from the east, so does mindfulness, curiosity, energy, joy, tranquility, concentration, equanimity. These all grow with the slightest provocation. The movement of awakening takes root, blossoms. The mind could be filled with disliking and pushing away, or restlessness and agitation, or worry, or sloth and torpor and doubt. There could be emotions of any kind. There could be the experience of being very rested or very tired or somewhere in between. This moment is exactly as it is. Let each breathing in invite you to be present. And similarly, each breathing out. Each breath appears truly out of nowhere. It doesn't exist, and then it does. There are really no words that can describe even an experience as basic as breathing in and breathing out. The knowing of the sensations of breathing is wordless. There's nothing to describe. There is just awareness and life itself. There are pleasant thoughts, pleasant sensations, pleasant visual objects. There are unpleasant thoughts, unpleasant sensations, and unpleasant smells and tastes, sights. All day long we walk through a world of liking and disliking, arising from pleasant and unpleasant. It's very natural, and we create a self out of this liking and disliking. Vedana, it's called. But is this liking and disliking a self? Or is it just nature manifesting with the signals that mammals need to survive? Liking and disliking, pleasant and unpleasant. bringing a thank you to the experience of this moment. A thank you to the fact of mindfulness. To the fact of love and compassion. Thankful to the fact that the trajectory, the evolutionary direction of your life is toward more love and compassion, kindness, generosity. The ultimate blessing. That you're building relationships and a way of being in the world that is, in fact, more loving. Therefore, less prone to strife. And on the in-breath, perhaps a thank you. A thank you to some part of yourself, some part of your life. Maybe that you're just a little grateful for, and you want to come to your senses and realize that a song for the rest of your life of gratitude might be very appropriate. And on the breathing out, a thought of gratitude or a prayer of gratitude to someone for their blessing in your life. To your pet and loving companion in life, to a spouse, to a teacher, to a child, to the mountains, to a particular birch tree somewhere. A word of gratitude to the uncle or aunt who helped save you. To your 5th grade teacher who really paid attention. Whoever it is. On the in-breath, there's love for yourself, a blessing, and on the out-breath, for the other. And then in for yourself and out for all beings. And looking forward into that magic imaginary time called today. Think about your plans, the people you'll meet, the driving you'll do. Why not do it with a prayer of gratitude? Of amazement, with an intention of being mindful. Not in some stilted way, but of just noticing what's happening right now. And now bringing awareness, as is our practice, into the body, into the breathing, into the eyes. And then allowing the eyes, allowing the intention to form, to open the eyes and then letting them open. Pulling back those eyelids and seeing. And seeing with the eyes of blessing. It's so easy to revert to the old kind of bored, not engaged way of seeing. Why not see and realize the miracle of colors, of seeing it all? I think I'm not going to do announcements today, but we'll move to inviting you if you have something to share or a question, a comment. And this is that second Tuesday of the month when an intrepid band of travelers who call themselves the Board of Directors of the Portland Insight Meditation Community meet at 8 o'clock. And I'm the keeper of the meeting. And we have a lot to do today because we have this remodeling project, the seismic remodeling project is coming along, and we'll find out this week. I think we made an appeal to the city that they want us to remodel the downstairs bathroom to bring it up to modern code, but it was built in 1930. So it's probably early enough that it should be grandfathered in. But we're in advanced exploration with them. So opening up, if you have something you would like to share, I'm sure we'd all be happy to hear. Participants.
Morning, Robert. It's Kathy.
Hello, Kathy.
I have a comment and a question. The comment is that this was just a especially rich sit for me, even though my mind, which I was kind to as best I could, was followed down all kinds of trains, but it was coming back and noticing the sensations and all that kind of thing. It was very rich. But the question is that when we say may all beings be happy, at one point you said that happy is not really cover the concept. It's different than that, and I can't remember what you said.
That chant, Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam, comes from the Mangalam Sutta. And Mangalam really means all blessings. May all beings receive all blessings. May they receive the great blessing of the Dharma and awakening. So it's not that mood happy, because the mood happy comes and goes like a, right? Tara and I my daughter Tara and I had some, we went through some moods, and we're very communicative with each other, and it was fun to note, well, I'm in a crappy mood right now. This isn't any fun, and to notice that, a little food made a big difference. Isn't that fascinating? And so happy comes and goes, but that spaciousness that can contain the coming and going of moods, now that's a high blessing, right?
Valentine's.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's coming. That's next week. That's right. Gary Sanders is getting married on Valentine's Day. I'm performing the wedding at PIMC, and it's going to be, I think they've invited people all over the place, other friends on Zoom.
Robert?
Greg. Hello, Greg.
How are you?
I'm really good this morning.
I heard. I just want to. This is going to be a little hard, but I'm here to say my gratitude to all of you. I lost a brother yesterday to COVID, and it was difficult.
Whoa.
And, but it was especially difficult in that it had been a relationship that had been broken for some time. I'm trying to support my niece and my other sister, my sister. It was hard, but I called upon the wisdom of this group and their teaching to remember that he was the man that occupied the role of brother in my lifetime. And I just wished him well and compassion. So I want to thank you for the teaching and thank you all for being here. So I'll sign off with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And so we feel our own resonances with Greg's loss. We've all had so much loss in our lifetime. And if we dare, Greg's sharing can open our hearts, and any ungrieved grief will come forward, and our capacity of loving will grow.
Hey, Robert. It's John.
Hello, John. Good morning.
Thanks, you. I haven't spoken in a while. I'm not even sure what I want to say. I do have a particular form of Zoom anxiety, I think. I don't know if other people share it, but there is this sense of loneliness for me on this way of being together. Somehow it feels like I don't know if anybody's ever looking at me or seeing me, and there's no way to tell. And that's gotten me in touch with some deep insecurities that I'm learning to take seriously, but it's made it very difficult to be here sometimes. But I just wanted to share that, speak that, 'cause that's been it comes and goes sometimes. And I think the whole COVID thing has, on some level, at times I don't feel like a part of humanity anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes and goes too, but I just wanted to speak to that.
May I be playful for a moment?
Please.
There you are. And I invite anyone who wants to unmute and say something like, I see you, John. I do. Right now, I see you.
I see you, John.
I see you, John.
John, you John too. And I agree.
Oh, John.
John, I see you.
Yeah.
There you are, John.
Hi.
Here. Yeah.
John, I see you.
Hey, John. Hello. Nice to meet you.
I feel real.
It's a beautiful place. You are loved.
You're not the only person who feels that way, John. Also, I think that's a really human emotion. It's a weird time.
Well, there. How's that?
Much better.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
This is hard, this COVID time. It's really hard. It's hard, and it's for those of us who can use it for the retreat that it is, it's opening something that will change us forever.
Robert, I agree. There's this whole world of what can be distractions that are not available. And it's really fascinating to look at what's important, what's worth doing.
Yeah.
And what will be added back or not added back.
Yep.
Robert, I have a funny Deb.
Hello, Deb and friend.
Yeah, just come along to see you too, John. A friend of mine, this is just a funny thing, but a friend of mine took a flight and then got a call like 2 weeks later saying that somebody on her flight was diagnosed with COVID. So she now needs to quarantine for 14 days, and she's already been home for a couple of weeks. So we were sort of talking about how, this sort of crazy system and what does it really mean to quarantine and all of the people that she would have contacted or whatever. And I said something about like, well, it's another invitation to look inward or go inward. She said, I'm sick of the goddamn invitations. Me too. So I just wanted to share that.
Hi. Oh. Cat.
Hello, Kat.
Sorry, I just noticed my thing. I'm really grateful for everyone's share. I'm always grateful for the reminder that I am not the only one who's having a hard time right now. And the past 2 weeks of meditation have felt constantly brutal. Like just the constant thinking without any reprieve. To the point that I went for a walk in the forest yesterday, and my brain was so loud that I screamed out loud, stop. And I was like, oh, cool, maybe I'll get arrested for disturbance of the peace. And this morning, it was much quieter, and my instant thought was not, oh, cool, it's quieter. It's, oh, this is sloth and torpor. Like, there's no room for relaxation. There's just, like, pure anxiety and sleep. And it just feels hard. Like, everything is hard. And nothing in my life personally is wrong. And so there's so much shame that comes up of, like, people are dying everywhere, and I don't know anyone who's died personally in this pandemic, which is a miracle. My parents, who are 71 and 81, are healthy and fine. I have everything I need, and yet it's still such a daily struggle right now. And I don't have anything else to add to that except that to be in this place where I can come and I can cry. And on last Wednesday during class, you asked me to cry, or not cry, you asked me to stop talking and just feel in front of class. And that was one of the more excruciating moments I've had. And yet I didn't die. And to come here and practice feeling feelings in front of other people, because when other people do it, I feel less afraid of doing so myself. That's all I got today.
Thank you, dear cat. There's something in the Buddha's teachings which is, I keep learning. You know, the very first thing that was taught was the Four Noble Truths, that life is really difficult. That's the first one. Life is really difficult. And being a human being is really difficult. And that's not the popular line. The popular line is, if you could just buy this correct thing, you'd be really like this, happy. And it's not true. And I'm always struck when I go to the supermarket and my father was he was into marketing books, paperbacks, and so on. And I know the cost of shelf space. Shelf space is expensive. The potato chip companies battle over inches on who gets the most space. And hang on. There we go, muting there. And anyway, a long way around to say this. There are at least 2 aisles of wine. And there's a liquor store down the street. And during COVID, alcohol consumption in Oregon has doubled, 100% more. And marijuana consumption or sales is up by 70%. Now, what's going on? It's because life is so unbearable. It's difficult to bear. And to be a person who's going naked in a way, to not be distracting ourselves. And in fact, I had an interesting little debate on the plane last night. I had a new contemplation from one of my teachers, Matt Flickstein. It was really intriguing. And I also had a screen in front of me that could play any movie I wanted, basically. And I had this big struggle. And I started a couple of movies, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And I wound up spending time in the contemplation, which was a very potent thing, for a couple of hours. I had 2 hours I could just meditate. But it's no wonder that this time is so hard, because we also don't have touch the same way that we would normally have, and many distractions. So it's not like there's something wrong personally with you, Kat. It's that it's just remarkably difficult to be a human being. To be a human being and to face it directly.
I I'm so grateful for you saying that and talking about the wine and the liquor, because this is the first time I'm realizing the miracle that through the past 2 weeks, and I'm just realizing this as you said it, I haven't even thought about drinking, which most people here probably know I'm about almost 6 months sober. And that's a true and total miracle. Like, it didn't cross my mind of like, it would really help. And it was just the thought switch from, which it used to be, of like, it would help, a drink, to I don't know what would help, but I'm just gonna keep showing up. And that is a miracle, even though that feels crappy. That's a lot better version of crappy than let me go get drunk or high.
Yep. Well, on that happy note, Jim and I need to go to the board meeting. So let's sing our song and leave. And thank you, dear Kat, for sharing that. So you want to unmute? See you again tomorrow, I hope. May all beings be happy or receive all blessings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Better version of crappy.
Till soon.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye, my beautiful friends. Till soon. Boom. Goodbye, friends.